Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salat. Hayya ala salat. Hayya ala falah. Hayya ala Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi azza wa jal. Nashhadu an la ilaha illallahu wahdahu la sharika lah wa nashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'd. We offer this translation, that is, praise be to Allah, Alhamdulillah, who is the Rabb, the God and evolver, cherisher and sustainer, Alameen, of all the systems of knowledge. We seek him for assistance, and we ask for his forgiveness, and we put our trust in him, he that is almighty and exalted. We witness that there is no God except Allah. We often repeat that is A-L-L-A-H. Illah means something that you love, something that you worship, something that you adore. So when they put the A-L in front of it, it's letting us know there is no Illah but Allah. All right? One alone, with no partners with him. Muhammad is his servant and his messenger. The prayers and peace be upon him and upon his family, all of them, and what follows of that excellent salutation. So again, we thank our, when you call the adhan, that's the muadhin. Now, by the way, do you call the adhan when you're at home? Yes. Or you may have already have a machine that automatically calls it. That's why we have it at our house. So it lets us know when Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha. But if you don't have that, then you instructed we should call the adhan. Also, this lets us know, especially those of us, I'm African American, that the original Quran, the word Quran is actually Arabic. And some get a little upset, they go to a bookstore, they see Koran, and then they're looking for Quran. So that is just to help us pronounce it correctly. Quran, to help us pronounce it correctly. All right? And we thank our brother called the adhan. He is 88. Oh, excuse me. 89 years old. All right? So we hope I'm looking in the audience, see some of our younger brother. Prepare yourself, because he was once 16, he was once 18, he was once 25. 89. Whoa. All right, so we chose a topic. It's called Sharing Muslim Integrity and Character. So the first part, we will be reading some of the ayats. A lot of times we say verses. It's acceptable, but actually those are called ayats in the Quran. All right. Sharing Muslim integrity or character in our pluralistic American society. So unfortunately, you want to say it, is that our society is not just Muslim. There's a lot of variation in our society. So, of course, we have here first the definition of integrity. Integrity means the quality of being honest, trustworthy, upright, firm in adherence to a code of moral values. In fact, it had, where I got this from, it said a person of integrity never takes a bribe. Never. Then we have character. What is character? Attributes and or features that make up and distinguish the individual. And I have recited this often. Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. And it goes on, watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. So actually your character has a lot to do when the soul tastes. Every soul has a taste, right? A taste of passing away. And then we're in a pluralistic society. So pluralistic means a state of society in which members of diverse ethnic, racial, religious, or social groups maintain an autonomous participation in and development of their traditional culture or special interests within the confines of a common civilization. So we're in the kind of society where we have different ethnicities, different races, different religions, different social groups, but we're all supposed to be respected. We begin with the first 5 ayats that were revealed to Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Prayers and peace of Allah be upon him. I'm going to read the first 5. I'll read the Arabic that is given to us, and then the English translation. It begins, look at the first word. Iqra. Bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Read in the name of your God and evolver, cherisher, and sustainer. Khalaqa, who created. Number 2. Khalaqal insana min alaq. Created. Now this insana refers to human beings, especially as social creatures. Is why we had the pandemic, so to speak. We have a lot of issues because our main attribute is that we are social humans. So again, it says created social humans out of a clinging fluid of congealed blood. All right. Ayat 3. Iqra wa rabbukal akram. There it is again. Read, and your God and evolver, cherisher, and sustainer is most bountiful. Number 4. Alladhi alama bil qalam. He who taught the use of the pen. Finally, alamal insana ma lam ya'lam. Taught social human, not physical human, taught social human that which he knew not. Iqra means it should be read, it should be recited again, and it should be memorized and also followed and obeyed. I mentioned all that in the word Iqra. When we say Quran, we don't just mean read it. We mean read it, recite it, and memorize it, and follow and obey it. and the Quran gives instructions on what it means in the Quran itself. It defines itself. Read the music. You know, when they read the music, they have what the symbols are, but if you don't know the symbols mean, you can't read it. Read the music, it says. Read the poems. Read the ayats. I didn't say the verses. Read the ayats, which means signs, to give understanding to whatever you hear, see, smell, taste, or touch, which I've named the five senses, how we exist. Again, in the Quran, this is the next surah. Alif Lam Mim. This is the book. And book means what? Body of knowledge, your life. What you did today is part of your life book. It is guidance sure, without doubt. So we could say one word for that, perfect. The Quran is a perfect. It is guidance sure, without doubt, to those who fear Allah. In another word, it says, who exhibit taqwa. And we're able to keep deeds for Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, glorious to see and exalted. And that is real taqwa. Taqwa, that's an Arabic word, taqwa. And that is the real meaning of taqwa, that you love God and you regard God with such estimation or opinion that you fear to displease him. And it hurts you or it saddens you to know that you displeased God or you didn't measure up to what he asked of you. And then it goes on in this, I'm going 1 to 4, who believe in the unseen, are steadfast in prayer, and spend out of what we have provided for them, and who believe in the revelation sent to you and sent before your time, and in your hearts have the assurance of the hereafter. Says if you do those, you know that you're going to go to, we call it Jannah, or there's going to be another existence for you after this. Now, how many of you are willing to come up to this rostrum and declare and sure that you are going to go to Jannah or to heaven or to hereafter afterward? All right? You're already doing it. You're doing it at home. You're doing it in the public. You're doing it on your job. You're doing it with this virtual socializing. You're doing it when you're driving the car, whatever. You're doing it in your habits and in your expressions. Now, where does the assurance, the idea that you're certain that you're going to the hereafter, where does that reside? It resides in your heart, in your mind, in your soul. And it says, a pure heart, a faithful mind. They have a surah in the Quran, it says, believer, mu'min. And then they also have one said, al-mu'minun, the believers. And then it goes on to say, a burdenless soul. So many people always complain about problems they're having. They're not following what the recipe is in the Quran. A burdenless soul. No fear. This is what it says in the Quran. No fear and no grief. Those are two extremes. No fear and no grief. All right? This is what it says. And again it says, whoever follows my guidance, on them shall be no fear, nor shall they grieve. So I used to say this, when I used to teach it, say, so how you doing? They might say something like, I said, well, I'm on the train, but I'm not the conductor. I'm on the train. That's my life. I'm on the train, but I'm not the conductor. Right. Again, in the Quran, Surah 39, Ayat 41 says, verily, we have revealed the book to you in truth for instructing mankind. He then that receives guidance benefits his own soul, but he that strays injures his own soul. Nor are you set over them to dispose of their affairs. Now, this was some instruction given to Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he was not deciding who's going to be a Muslim and who's not. He's not in charge of this. He's not disposer of their affairs. Again, we have in Surah 55, it says it's called Ar-Rahman. The two they usually limited to 100, but God is not limited to that. But in our understanding as humans, but one of the two top are Rahman and Rahim. This particular surah is called Ar-Rahman, and we translate that as the merciful benefactor. It is he who has taught the Quran. He has created social human, there's insana again, and he has taught him speech and intelligence. For us, we believe, we accept, The Quran is a book of guidance. It is a book of instruction. And that's what the purpose of this: see, smell, taste, touch. That's the purpose of it, is to receive information from the creation that the Creator made. So it says here, it is a book of instruction. It is an instructional manual for humanity. It's an instructional manual for humanity. So we are not just talking lightly when we do dawah, that when we go among people, that we do not see themselves as Muslims. We offer them a Quran, all right? And dawah, there's a book, and the title of this book was Dawah. It was this Arabic, Dawah, the lost art of the call of Islam. How many of us are participating in dawah? Now, not necessarily something planned, but how you're conducting yourself at home, as a neighbor, all right, as an Uber driver, right, etc., etc. Maybe you're homeless, all right, and you have other people that you're involved with. Again, it is a physical, spiritual, and social hearing. So we are not speaking lightly when we indicate ayahs that say these are instructions for humanity. If they say they're human, Quran is for them. If they say they're human, Quran is for them. An instructional book, a book of guidance, and again it says in the ayah we just read that Allah is the teacher. Allah is the teacher. All right. The Quran, again, is like a dictionary or Google for life, which results from the correct perception of Allah, the creator of human life, the creator of creation. Now, I've read these ayats specifically to call to our minds attention that the Quran is like a dictionary or to Google. These are my words. You don't have to, which we have read exactly from the Quran. And if you do not desire to accept what we're saying, you can reject that. The Quran to Google is what we use to define words. And we know that once we were told, those of us that identify with the Imam W.D. Muhammad, he said words make people, and that words make worlds. Words make worlds. Worlds are made up of words. If there's a world, it is made up of words. So education should not be seen strictly as, let's spell it, K-I-N-D, that's kind, E-R, one who, G-A-R-T-E-N. I don't know if they were trying to fool us or not. I had somebody look it up for me, so how I differ. But you know how you pronounce it? You pronounce it kindergarten. It sounds like garden, right? Kindergarten. So I've told people that that's the first grade. Before the first grade, you go to the kindergarten. You go to a kind of garden. All right? All right. So in the kindergarten, we don't expect to see no racists, not in the kindergarten. We don't expect any racists and drug addicts in the kindergarten, not any LGBT in the kindergarten, no alcoholics in the kindergarten. All right? Not that. All right. So education is all pervasive. We're never out of school. We're never out of school. Yes. From the cradle to the grave, we're always in school. Never out of an environment that we cannot learn. Maybe you may not consciously perceive what you're receiving, but you are learning. The major socializing agent in our society is the school. Unfortunately, as a teacher, the major influence in our schools is the culture. Is the culture. The Quran comes for humanity to define worlds. So consequently, it defines the world for us. Now here it is very critical. It's a very critical point as we address our life as Muslims, as we reflect on our life as believers. Yes, the dictionary will have an author. Google uses the World Wide Web definitions. The dictionary will have someone who compiled these words, researched these words. Google relies on the World Wide Web definitions, all right? Now, they have a literature, they call it a concordance. There's a concordance for the Quran, there's a concordance for the Christians, the Bible, and also the Torah for the Jews. And what it does, it takes a book, you look up the word, and it tells you all the ayats where that word is or defines it. So in the concordance for the Quran, it mentions Muslims. It mentions Muslims 17 times. So it says when you look in the concordance, it says the word Muslim is mentioned 17 times in the Quran. But believe, believed, believer, believers, believes, and believing over 100 times in the Quran. So our main mission is not so much being Muslim, we're born Muslim. Our main mission, all the trials and tribulations that we may consider, that the main mission is to be a believer. To be a believer, even if it's against yourself. The Quran mentions that, even justice against yourself. So again, we have here, so let us, for us to get the correct definition, we must have the correct perception for the author of the dictionary of the worldwide used by Google for life, and that's life. Wrapping up the first part, the correct perception of who is Allah defines for us all definitions. If there is something to be defined, it is defined through the correct perception of who is Allah. Allah defines for us all definitions. All definitions, all words, all worlds are defined for us through the medium of proper perception of Allah. Let us be specific. We define ourselves through understanding who is Allah. So for us, man is defined, woman is defined. You can see me through the AIR. The air is defined. The ear is defined. The family. What is a family? Now they're coming up with man is stretching it. He's offering alternative definitions for family. But for us, it is already clearly stated by who? By Allah, the creator of the family. Money. The definition for money for us is defined by a correct perception of Allah. The definition of wealth, fun, what is right, what is wrong, what is a relationship? How do I define relationships? It's defined for us first, beginning with the correct perception of Allah. And the most important relationship is our relationship with Allah. The most important relationship is our relationship with Allah. Again, in Surah 2, Ayat 2, guidance, it says in there, in the Quran, guidance is to those who believe in the unseen. For us to understand Allah, He has to reveal it to us. We can't get understanding of Allah, man, woman, life. To get these concepts, they must be revealed to us, and the Quran comes as a book of revelation. All right? Coming after the last book in the Bible, Revelation. So you may not want to, but check it out, read it. You'll see what Revelation talks about, a new city of light. All right. The last book in the Bible, in the New Testament, as they say, is Revelation. Now, the opposite of reveal is conceal. So he has to reveal it to us. Conceal suggests that it can't be seen. Consequently, those who believe in the unseen. This suggests that the human being, where we really lie in our intellect, we're not seeing the seen. We are seeking the unseen. We see what we see, but we know that there's an unseen somewhere behind what we see. All right, and we'll see again, I'm not just seeing eyes. Again, we're talking about those five senses, what you're hearing, what you're tasting. Sometimes you taste it, you say, babe, that's good. Well, what is that? What's behind that? Et cetera, right? All right, so again, this suggests a human being where we really lie in our intellect. We're not seeking the seen, we are seeking the unseen. We see what we see, but we know that there is an unseen behind what we see. And that's what the intellect is turned on by. Yes, the babies observe. They reach out. They grab. They dismantle it. Why? Because they are looking for what is making this toy like it is. Huh? What's behind the moving toy? And again, in the Bible, in the first book, as they refer to it, in the New Testament, Matthew, it says to enter the kingdom. It says child. A lot of times they say you must become a child. And some are saying to enter the kingdom, you must convert as a child. How is a child? What is a child? Innocent. Huh? Innocent. And the intellect is looking for what is the main cause of this. So we end up with this. Summarize the first part we mentioned. So the Quran defines life for us. It defines words and worlds. We live in a world, and it is defined for us in the Quran. Those who believe in the unseen. No matter how much you see, the most powerful concept is what you don't see. It's what is motivating. And again, for us all, definitions are defined by the proper perception of Allah. Alhamdulillah. Again, alhamdulillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulullah. My thanks and gratitude belong to Allah, the God and Evolver. That's what we use for Ra. God, sometimes it says worlds, right? We've spread it out, all right? God and Evolver, cherisher and sustainer of all mankind. I ask Allah to bless and bestow peace on Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Let's get to the habit of that. You might want to say it out loud, but at least it should measure on your heart. Allah, Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And again, I'm just like all of you, a student, that the Quran, even the word Quran is Arabic, and we all should be students of it. And when you go and purchase many of these Qurans, many times they have many different translations, many different translations. Like we usually say, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. But many Qurans you'll see it just say gracious, or it just might say merciful, all right? But we say, why do we say that, okay? Why do we say that? Because Rahman Ar-Rahim, the root of them, the root is mercy. The root word in Rahman, you hear me pronouncing it a little different. Rahim, the root is Rahman, and it means mercy. And mercy in different forms, how we conduct ourselves. Again, now we're wrapping up on this part, identifying our pluralistic American society. So now we're just going to mention the kind of life, the kind of world we're living in here in America. The first thing is what they call the Constitution. It says, we hold these truths to be self-evident. By the way, to give a lot of credit to the President Thomas Jefferson, he had a what? A Quran. And many of the brothers and sisters that take office in the Senate or the House of Representatives, they take it with a Quran. All right? We hold these truths to be self-evident. Self-evident means it comes with birth. That's what it means, self-evident. That all men, and by men we mean humans, it can be synonymous with humans, are created equal and that they are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights. So these are rights. And it says that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And then, of course, many Americans say the American experience is still evolving. It has not reached these words. America has not reached the reality of these ideals in its Constitution. So now we're going to mention first the three main religions that you find. And some of them are our co-workers, maybe some of our relatives, etc. Now the Muslims, we follow the Quran and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, prayers and peace of Allah be upon him. And for us, this year began, for us it was July, but that was the beginning of Muharram. July the 7th, 2024 was the beginning of a new year. So we're no longer in 1445. We're now in 1446. And Ramadan for us was in March the 11th, 2024, and Hajj June the 19th, 2004. So the year we're in now, this is Muharram, 1446 AH, after Hijrah. And the Islamic calendar is based on the cycles of the moon, all right, and it's dated from the Hijrah, the migration, Hijrah of Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Now I'm standing before you talking about sallallahu alayhi wasallam, but there was a time I didn't say that. And I maybe at Jumah, and I would notice certain brothers, they would respond. As soon as they heard it, they put on their heart, on their soul, on their mind, who we talking about. This is not just anybody. This is Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, an example for all humans. All right, then we have the Christians. The Christians, we know, follow the Bible. That word could be, can be translated many books. They have 27 in the New Testament and 39 in the Old. All right, they identify with Jesus the Christ, and the new year for them was Monday, January the 1st, 2024. And they believe that 2024 years ago was the birth of Jesus the Christ on December 25th. And they have their major holidays are Christmas, and Easter. And they have a 12-month calendar, and so do we have a 12-month calendar. Usually that last month is when we go on Hajj, all right? But the 12-month calendar is based on the earth rotating and revolving around the sun, which accounts for the 4 seasons. Then we have the Jews who follow the Torah, and they identify mostly with Prophet Moses, and for them, we're in the new Hebrew year, 5785. And their major holidays, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Hanukkah. For the year 2024, these major holidays will be in October and December. And they also have involved in the light of the menorah, and they have weekly worship service is the Shabbat, which begins at sundown Friday evening. Now, these are some situations that occur for us as Muslims, as believers in this pluralistic society we live in. For instance, we live in a society that recognizes religious holidays on public, business, school calendars. Now, our students, Muslim students, legally excused for absence to participate in their religious observance. And that's where we were headed for that. Now, most public school calendars have winter break, but it happens to be all the way around Christmas, whatever Christmas is. And they call it spring break, but it's always where Easter is being observed and always out for Easter Monday. But that's the situation. If your relative, your son, your daughter, your cousin, your nephew, your niece is attending a public school, they have to be aware of that. And so we as parents, we have to inform them. We also have, and sometimes you might want to ask the teacher, can you give a talk? Yes, you might want to ask the teacher, my son, my daughter, Muslim, and they attend the school. You're the teacher. We appreciate you dedicating yourself. But I would like to share with some of the students who may not know about how we conduct ourselves as Muslims. And I've done that before, and sometimes it helps a great deal. Again, here we have something else here. Pluralistic society now. Accepting Christmas gifts. Now, I'm going to tell you what I do, what I've done. Now, this book, you may can't see it, everyone, but this is what this book says. It says, the story of Mary and Jesus from the Quran. And so they gave me certain things that I exchanged. This was put out by the Urbana Corporation. All right? What is that? Yes, corporation. So do you accept gifts or you return Christmas greetings? Some Muslims accept gifts and in turn gifts on Eid al-Fitr. Some way too. We have our 2 major celebrations, and they share it with other family relatives or neighbors that are not Muslim. But this is going to be in a pluralistic society. All right? Okay, then again, accepting invitations to family Christmas gatherings. Attending offers Christmas parties. Well, it's not supposed to be me just telling all my personal business, but I was teaching in the school, and I attended. It was a Christmas class, so I was there. They knew. And I went to, they had some juice, so I went to get some juice. She did not have to do this, but one of my fellow teachers came and said, Mr. Saleem, I don't think you want to touch that juice. But wasn't that very helpful? She knew I was a Muslim. And she was a protector. So if we establish our way of life, I told you there's another one I told everybody before about where I was teaching, and we had a pretty large storage room for the ones of us in this area. And so I would go in there and make prayer. All right. Whenever I mention it, almost make me cry. They made up a sign, and the sign says, "Please do not disturb. Mr. Saleem is having prayer." So it must have been something that I conducted myself for them to do it. I never asked them. So really, so keep that in mind in your where you work and in your neighborhood, etc. You'd be surprised, so forth. All right. And then, as I already mentioned about giving the gift of the story of Mary and Jesus in the Quran. And don't forget now, in the Quran, it says Jesus is called Isa ibn Maryam, always. So that we connect. Now, of course, some of them might say Immaculate Conception, but we kind of on the same path on that in that regard. All right, Prophet Isa. All right. Then again, whenever we're dining out with relatives and neighbors and associates, we have to just make sure no pork, right? And a lot of the popular places that we go and eat, they do have pork sometimes. I don't want to mention, but so be it. All right. There's another issue, a concern, Some Muslim brothers are preferring a non-Muslim girlfriend. These are things happening. Or a wife from the broader community. All right? So we have to keep these things in mind. Make sure when we decide that we have a good talk with each other on what our beliefs and concerns are, etc. And then I'm also going to mention we're in America, we're in Washington, they have a lot of traditional American holidays. New Year's Day, Martin Luther King's birthday, President's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Juneteenth, National Independence Day, Labor Day, Christmas Day. So we have to be aware of these, especially as we are raising children, how we should conduct ourselves. We're now beginning to wrap up. Satan's scheme to break up the families. That is his main objective, to break up families is one of the objects of Satan. Family is an institution. The whole society has been upon the institution we call family. When they open up with their commercials, the first thing they really should say, they don't say this, Daddy, may I have your attention? Or Daddy and Mama, may I have your attention? Then give the commercial. This protects the family, and this tells the child that he or she is not to buy this thing or accept it unless my mama and my daddy say okay. Juneteenth, short for June 19th, Juneteenth honors the end to slavery in the United States and is considered the longest running African American holiday. Juneteenth has always been significant to the black community and now is finally getting wider acknowledgement due to Black Lives Matter movement. Juneteenth is also known as Emancipation Day or Freedom Day or Liberty Day or Jubilee Day. Other social structures. Racism, especially for African Americans. And we don't like this term. And we have some with us today. We don't like to say immigrant Muslims. Muslim. And we have members of almost 44 countries. Right now we're doing our salat every day in 1515, right next to the edifice, Masjid Muhammad, every day. And who comes? Who comes? I'm sorry to say this. A lot of African Americans, a lot of us don't come. But this is who this is the majority of the property. We have people from Afghanistan, Albania, Algeria, Bangladesh, Bosnia, Burundi, Cameroon, Ecuador, Egypt, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, India, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Jordan, Libya, Malaysia, Mauritania, Malta, Morocco, Nigeria, Oman, Pakistan, Palestine, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Tanzania, thank you, thank you. Tunisia, Turkey, Tibet, Uganda, Ukraine, yes, Yemen. So we have all of these coming. So we're Muslims, and we benefit from each other. Also now, no longer interreligious weds, no longer interdenominational. Now they say interfaith marriage. So now what we have joined us is that we believe it's our faith, which is how we identify. Now we do have the LGBT community, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, asking for respect as humans. But how can they receive respect when their definition for humans completely violates, offends, and contradicts what the creator of humans intends? Now we're living in an era that Black Lives Matter, the Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, an African-American woman, had Black Lives Matter painted on 16th Street that leads to the White House on June the 5th, 2020, and designated a section near the White House as Black Lives Matter Plaza. And this I got from a news article. It said, can schools avoid offending parents during their religious holidays? So we have to let the teachers know. We conclude with this. We Muslims, establishing the Muslim community through streaming. We have streaming in Jumah for our local, national, and global community. But remember now, we have here, this is the time of Dhuhr, and we have the two-part khutbah and then the two rakahs. But remember that we also have Fajr, we also have Asr, Maghrib, and Isha. So let's remember to do those also at home. The Prophet has informed us that the whole earth is Allah's masjid. Akim as-salat.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salat, hayya ala salat.
Okay.
Salat. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
Let us not have any breaks between us. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Ameen. Iqra bismi rabbikal ladhi khalaq. Khalaqal insana min 'alaq. Iqra wa rabbukal akram. Alladhi alama bil qalam. Alama al insana ma lam ya'lam. Allahu Akbar. Sami Allahu liman hamida. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata mustaqim. Sirata alladhina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Ameen. Qul huwallahu ahad. Allahu samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Now, in case some of you are not aware, yes, Albert, this is what we give people when they accept, they take the Shahada. So if you don't mind, let me read this. This sister came to 1515, which very, very small, and where the many brother, and took her Shahada. All right? So now she receives this. This says Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim in Arabic, and then it has with Allah's name, the merciful benefactor. And then it says MASJID Muhammad. The root of the word MASJID is Sajda, we just did. Certificate of Shahada. This document certifies that Nellie Floyd, please stand. She recited the declaration of faith, in parentheses, Shahada, that's the Arabic. I bear witness there's nothing worthy of worship except Allah. He has no associates, partners, and there's nothing like unto him. And I bear witness that Muhammad ibn Abdullah is Allah's messenger and seal of prophethood. With sincerity, conviction, and understanding of its meaning, and thereby embrace the Islamic way of life. She did it on Monday, July the 22nd, 2024 CE, and she is also Muharram, 161446 age there. All right? Allahu Akbar. Oh.
Assalamu alaikum. We have some announcements, some very important announcements. So please give us your attention. We do have an audience that's viewing this outside of those who are present here. So we want to make sure we are clear in our announcements. So thank you for giving us the time and giving us your attention. Okay, so you can please just give us your attention. It won't take that long. First of all, alhamdulillah, we are grateful for the space that we're in. Praise due to Allah for the Arboretum. We're so grateful, and we know that it takes money to rent a place like this, so continue to give. And in giving, we want you to know that we have got various ways to give, and we want you to consider all of them. And that is that we could do through Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, website you can go to, even Amazon Donate if you're shopping. A percentage come to Master Muhammad, and also Master Muhammad, mail your checks into 1505 4th Street. In addition to that, we have posted here Q cards. You can go and scan those Q codes, and they'll take you straight to the payment. So please, continue to give. We have construction going on, so we know we need your money. So thank you very much for that. Now, we have a statement that we wish to read. The statement is on Biden-Harris. Okay, now I'm going to read it, and please be patient with us. Imam Talib Sharif of Masjid Muhammad, the nation's mosque, the oldest Muslim community in our nation's capital since the mid-1930s. We issued the following statement on President Biden's decision. We join Americans across the country in thanking President Joe Biden for his many years of service to our nation. We are among those who give credit where credit is due. Under his leadership, he has made many policies possible that have been of great help to our communities, and our nation has been made better in several ways. One of them being that he has employed the most diverse administration the most reflective of our nation's reality in U.S. history. We applaud his historic and patriotic decision in putting country above self and further endorsing the first women and women of color, Vice President Harris, to head the Democratic ticket for president. We equally join many from across the nation and the globe in extending our best regards and congratulations to Vice President Kamala Harris on being endorsed by the President of the United States to serve as a candidate for the Democratic nominee to compete for the presidency. With America being a nation of nations, a country made up of people from every land, may Allah bless the candidate with the best aspirations and human motivations and with the best interests in the whole life of America's populace and the world to emerge victorious. Takbir. Okay. In addition, Congressman Sheila Jackson Lee returns. We join those in our nation and around the world in offering our deepest condolences to the family and friends of Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee of Texas. For several decades, she was a dynamic servant of the people and one of our giants for social and economic justice. She was the lead sponsor of the legislation to make Juneteenth a federal holiday. May the excellence of her work, which we all inherit, be continued in the young and old. We will miss her voice. Greatly appreciate the opportunity of sharing the stage with her during one of the iftars at the Pakistani embassy, so we will miss her voice. Now, our voice matters, and here we salute Ibrahim Movement, who participated yesterday, and there may be others, but we salute him and his effort in going down, and congratulations, Ibrahim, for attending the protests against the terrorist Netanyahu, speaking out. He was speaking out at the U.S. Capitol this week. So thank you, Ibrahim, alhamdulillah. And again, our statement continues for Gaza strikes. We continue to be outraged and heartbroken over the escalating military activity in the area of the Gaza Strip, with Israel's most recent bombings, attacks, and killings of civilians, non-combatants, innocent men, women, and children. So again, we call for ceasefire now, immediately. A list of events that's coming forward. Don't forget, share is tomorrow, this Saturday. Pickup time, 10 o'clock. Work time, 8:30. So please be there, 8:30 to 9:30 for work. Pick up at 10. The Boy Scouts are having a swim this Saturday also from 10 to 11. So please check that out. Go online, the Wayne H. Ramsey Aquatic Center. We also have, Cuts and Casts. That's a community event at Anacostia Park by the pier. Free cuts, free haircuts. So check it out. Boy Scout Pack Golfing, $27, 18 holes. That's at Sligo Creek Parkway, July 28th. So that's Saturday. No, that's Sunday. That's Sunday. Boy Scout Troop and Pack 1517 Putt-Putt Mini Golf Outing, Sunday, August 11th. Now, please listen up to Study Al-Islam. Study Al-Islam continues. I'm not sure how many years it's been on broadcasting, but again, listen up every Sunday at 10 o'clock. Now, in addition to that, Master Muhammad and Study Islam are partnering, and we're partnering a road trip to opportunity. We are emphasizing business. There's a need for us to have an economic agenda, just like political agenda. So we need to consider going to New Medina and City of Jackson, Mississippi. It's being done and conducted through Master Muhammad and Study Al-Islam. It's a bus excursion, October 10th. So go online, register, and travel. $550 per person. Go online. Let us now focus on economic development, our economic agenda. Okay. I believe I've covered all of the major announcements. Again, we greatly appreciate you. Don't forget, give, give, give. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.